Hello there. Welcome to Intangible Notions on Top of Object, a performance exhibit curated by Michael DeBiccaro and Catherine Learson.
Today we will be exploring objects accumulated during our busy urban lives. Many may see these objects as trash. Today we will be exploring all of the ways in which they are treasure.
Let's take a look, shall we? This first piece that we're going to be looking at today is entitled Urinal Sign, 2017. As we can see from the title card, this was originally an 8.5-inch piece of printer paper, 20 pound, 92 bright. And as you can tell, it's a mixed ink composition. We have gel up in the corner, as well as laser jet, and then additionally ballpoint ink. For a little bit of context, this piece was originally found in the men's restroom of an office building. So let's take this in. The first initial impression is the main message. We see 3 lines of text, each line being shorter than the line previous, with the last line containing solely the word urinal. The full text reads as follows: "Do not put paper towels in the urinal." While this seems to be the original intent of the message, what we see in the upper left-hand corner is 3 commentators, or possibly 1 to 2 ambidextrous users, adding additional commentary. The first comment, "stand," is written in a black ink, and it's a command mirroring the command printed. Note additionally that "stand" is written in a girlish script, which might be alarming to some of the purveyors of the urinal. The second comment, "sit," is written in a tighter script, but in all capital letters and red ink. It is, in a way, a playful turn on the first, poking logic at the initial comment. Then we see the third commentator, apparently overwhelmed with choices, but armed with a blue ballpoint pen, posits hover, line break, jump. Now, at first, the notion of hovering is a positive one. It seems playful, evoking notions of surrealism and magic. The fantastical nature of hovering, as, say, a witch is wont to do. But that being the case, the message actually takes quite a dark turn, as the writer is asking the witness to do both the impossible and additionally the demonic, for who but a witch can truly hover. Then we see a return to reality with an actually actionable action. We see jump with excess question marks. Now note, even though that may make us feel more comfortable than the demonic hover, we are still not out of the woods yet, because the witness does not know where the destination of the jump lies. Jump to safety or jump off of a cliff.
Additionally, notice the fingernail pressure applied to the grouted tile edge that lies beyond the substrate. How it mars the purity of the paper. Perhaps the commentators themselves left these fingernail etchings, further proselytizing their anxieties, an impression of the cold wall from which the sign originally hung. The horizontal and vertical lines linger as a ghostly reminder of the construct of human society, both living on the grid and being confined by it.
If you'll follow us right this way,
here we have Blue Bag, 2013. This is by far the most restored piece that we have here in the collection. It was found in an old apartment, pressed between 2 pieces of cardboard. It's quite a miracle that it survived such an arduous flattening. Now, the restoration process has been quite extensive. Using an iron on low heat, many of the wrinkles have been smoothed out. How you see the bag now is quite similar to how passers-by would have seen it in 2013. The bag itself has generated quite a lot of controversy because of the restoration process. Many people on the board of trustees are conflicted. How far is too far? When will the bag lose its integrity? On the one hand, restoring it to its original form can be seen as a noble pursuit. But on the other hand, don't the wrinkles simply make it it? The bag itself is noble. It projects a certain amount of self-worth. But at the same time, it's quite vulnerable in that it is inanimate. What makes us feel tenderness? These are the kinds of questions Blue Bag evokes in the viewer.
And Catherine, if I may point out one thing, I have never seen a bag like this in America. Have you?
No, you wouldn't.
No. There's just so much going on. There's no text, but so much color. It definitely gives off a continental vibe, as if being from a different continent. You know, I would say this bag is definitely from Europe.
Oh, definitely.
We're going to move straight this way.
Here we have Fortune from a Cookie, 2012. Michael, will you read for us what you see written here?
Yes. You will never know you're full.
That's right. You will never know you're full. Now, what is the next illogical word that your mind jumps to automatically when you read that?
Potential.
Correct. Potential. You will never know your full potential. Generally speaking, when you open a fortune cookie, you expect a positive message of affirmation. Here, this fortune falls into the negative binary, your brain inhabiting that negative force. Not only that, but it is incomplete, completely incomplete. It brings us into an existential state, begging the question, does God exist?
We're now going to move finally to the last piece of today's tour, entitled Keep Your Receipts, 2017. Now, the paper trail that you see before you is not showy or flashy in the traditional sense. In fact, you could argue that any single one of these receipts on its own does not warrant much attention, does not pull your focus. But lined up one after another, they march towards the future, signifying the goods and services that we have procured. And in that way, they also serve as a historical thumbprint to the past, signaling where we've been. But that being the case, they are almost immediately rendered archaic and outdated. In fact, so many of our consumer shopping experiences today are happening online that we're living in an increasingly paperless world. Yet it should be noted that even in real-time scenarios, shoppers will frequently decline receiving a receipt, even at the cash register, evidently very confident they are not being swindled.
The curators were able to amass such a large number of receipts over just a few short weeks. It astounded them how many they were able to get in such a short amount of time. But of course, time does make fools of us all.
As we can see, the majority of these receipts are printed on thermal paper, which, as you may know, is a paper source tragically riddled with BPA. So, please do not touch. But despite their danger, these pieces are also delicate. They are each time stamped and dated, specific to a specific moment. And like that, they are unique, like a snowflake. Yet also like a snowflake, their beauty isn't ostentatious. You have to look for it.
These receipts are the art of the everyday. To misquote Richard Move, what if art was simply paying attention? We so often slough off the things we accrue as they burden us, but what if we were to see them as a benefit and share a gratitude for the small miracles in our everyday life?
One only has to start by noticing. Perhaps notice the sound of the receipt, the crinkle of the paper, or perhaps notice the sheen, or the way the ink does or does not smudge. Perhaps notice the instances where the receipts are intact, flat and clean, and then also other moments where they are crumpled and not quite so self-respecting.
It's important to notice the small reminders of the human beings who are behind these commercial transactions. Iris M., Juan Pedro, Kaylee. There is a human behind the machine. Perhaps it's important to remember that we all of us humans, are able to make a mark on this world, however small.
As you can see, the paper trail of the curators ends here. But on this wall, we see the contributions of gallery viewers, everyday folks, viewers like you. They have contributed to the receipt collection, adding their own instances of a paper trail.
That concludes our tour of intangible notions on top of object. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us today.
Yes, thank you.
Salute.